I woke up every morning in that cold and dark basement. No windows, no heat, just concrete, mildew, and silence. I was 14, forgotten, trapped, but I wasn't alone. My dog Buddy was there, and we were living this nightmare together. That dog, he kept me alive. When I was 16, I came to live with my adoptive dad. I opened the fridge, stared inside, and said, "You have food in here?" He always tells people that story like it's funny, but it's not. I didn't know food was something people just had. I thought fridges were empty. That hunger was normal. I'd never seen cold milk in a jug. I didn't know where snacks came from. I didn't even know what peanut butter was. To me, that fridge was magic. A glowing promise that maybe, just maybe, this place would be different. Before that, I lived in a house with a mom, dad, and a baby boy. I was 14. They weren't mean. They didn't scream or hit. They just didn't see me. They kept me in the basement. There were no windows, just a concrete floor and one lamp that never stopped buzzing. I had a mattress on the ground, torn up, no sheets, just cold fabric and the smell of mildew. They didn't give me blankets, said that I'd get used to the temperature. It was always freezing. The only other living thing down there was this dog. He was older, gentle. He wasn't allowed upstairs either. He used the corner of the room as a bathroom. I cleaned it up the best I could. Sometimes I cried while doing it because it wasn't his fault. Just like it wasn't mine. I named him Buddy. We weren't supposed to be friends. Maybe they thought keeping us together would break us both. But it did the opposite. We kept each other alive. When they brought food, it was always leftovers. Cold scrapes in a paper bowl. Usually not enough for one, so I'd split it with him. He always waited for me to eat first. I always gave him half anyways. Twice a day, I was allowed to use the bathroom. Once every few days, they let me shower. My clothes, they never got washed. I wore the same hoodie for months, still stained, stiff. It was the only thing that kept me from freezing at night. The only thing I had in that basement was a notebook with a pen. I would write many stories involving me and Buddy. Buddy and I lived in many different universes far from this place. I would read the stories to Buddy, and he seemed to understand. Upstairs was life, warmth, light, family. Downstairs, silence, shadows, dust. I stopped trying to keep track of days. Just counted how many times they forgot to feed us. At night, I'd curl up next to Buddy. Sometimes, I'd whisper things to him like, "Do you think they'll ever remember us?" Or, "If we ran away, would anyone even notice?" He'd rest his head on my chest. That was the only time I didn't feel alone. The only time I felt human. Then, one day, someone knocked. A new social worker came. She looked around, eyes wide. Didn't say a word at first. The parents acted normal, polite. Said I was a quiet kid and liked his space. They brought me upstairs. I hadn't seen sunlight in so long that I didn't know how to act. The air smelled different, cleaner. I was shaking, not from fear, just not used to being seen. They said they found a new home for me. I asked about Buddy. I begged. They said, "He's not part of your file." I cried in the car, the whole ride, not because I was leaving, but because he couldn't. Now I'm older, safer. I've got a bed, clean clothes, a fridge full of food. But sometimes when I open that fridge door and feel that cool air hit my face, I remember him, his eyes in the dark, the way he'd wag his tail even when he hadn't eaten in days, the warmth of him pressing against my ribs when the world forgot we existed. People ask me why I always leave a plate out by the back door. They laugh, say I'm weird. But it's not for them. It's for Buddy. In case he's still out there. In case he's hungry. In case he remembers too.